All right, everybody thinks you need millions of dollars to start in commercial real estate and tons of money in the bank, or else it's just not possible to get into it. But that's just simply not true. In the past few years, we've bought multiple buildings with little to no money out of pocket. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through 3 ways you can get into a deal with little to no money out of your own pocket, and how much ownership you can realistically expect to get in those deals. And the third method is one of my absolute favorites. If you get through this video and any of it goes over your head, don't worry, I got a link in the description with a guide explaining these 3 methods, so be sure to click that and check it out. If you're new here, my name's Graham Story. I'm a commercial real estate investor and broker. I help people go from transitioning in residential real estate into commercial real estate. If that sounds interesting, I make videos just like this one every single week, and hit the subscribe button. All right, so number 1 way you can get into a deal without using any of your own money is by buying a small deal or starting small. The first deal I ever did was $250,000. We had to raise 65 grand to buy the deal. Now, $65,000 might sound like a lot of money, but I promise you it's actually not. You can get that from a number of different ways. You could even apply for a 0% interest credit card and pull out the funds and do it that way. Or you can get it from a hard money lender, a private money lender, a local investor. Maybe you have some stocks you could sell. Maybe you have a residential property you could sell. There's a ton of ways you can get $65,000 to go buy your first deal. If you use a creative way like a 0% interest credit card, which I don't necessarily recommend, or selling one of your investment properties, maybe it's residential, or maybe selling the stock, you can keep 100% ownership in the property and all of the equity. If you go the other route where you bring in a local investor or a close family friend for the equity, then you can expect to keep probably anywhere from 25 to 50% of the deal. Option number 2 is you can just simply partner up. You can form an LLC and you can go out there and you can buy a property. In this scenario, you allocate equity based on everyone's role. So if someone else is bringing the money, then you are going to be doing something else. Maybe you're bringing the deal, maybe you're running the deal, maybe you're putting it all together with the financing, or maybe you're managing it after the fact. But you have to be doing some kind of active role in adding the value. And maybe you're doing all that stuff and the only thing that they're doing is bringing the money. Ideally, you want to partner with someone who's got some operational knowledge and it's not just all riding on you, but you're running everything and they're just bringing the money and also a little bit of knowledge. It's maybe getting anywhere from 5% to 25% equity in a deal. I've personally done this where I brought a deal to the company I work with, and the first deal I ever did, I got 5% ownership in the deal just for bringing the deal to the table. And option number 3, which is my favorite, is creative financing. With this, there's so many different options you can use for different deals, and we've used a number of them. All you have to do is find an older seller who's had the building for a long time, they have a low basis, and they want to sell it, but they don't want to pay a bunch in taxes. That's your ticket. If you find somebody like that, it is a perfect candidate for seller financing. You can negotiate super low down payments. You can do anywhere from 5 to 10%. We've done multiple deals at 10% down. And what this does is it allows the seller to take only 10% of their gain in that year plus the payments. So instead of getting a huge lump sum of just selling the property outright, they're getting only a little bit of the payment, the 10%, and they're getting taxed on that over time. Now, obviously I'm not a tax expert, so talk to your accountant or whatever about this, but this is just a high level overview of it. So if you find a deal where you can put 5 or 10% down, let's just call it $1 million deal, that means you have to bring 50 to 100 grand to the table. And just like in the first example, you can find a bazillion different ways to get 50 to 100 grand. You can get hard money lending, you can get private money lending, you can get individual investor, you can get a local investor, you could sell something else, and you can get that 50 to 100 grand. In exchange for this, if you find a really good deal, you can give them half the equity for you bringing the deal to the table, and they just provide the money, or maybe even a little less if it's a really good deal. If you end up using the private money route, you don't have to give them any equity at all. You could just take that, let's say $100,000 loan, and pay them 12% interest on it. Now, the property has to do well enough and cash flow enough to perform to be able to pay for the seller financing note debt service and also the hard money note debt service. Another way to do this is you can get the seller to take a second position mortgage. So basically, the seller would take 20 to 30% back as a loan, and you would get a first mortgage from a bank. So what that means is the bank would have the right to foreclose, and they would get the first dibs at the money that they're owed, and then the seller would be in second position behind that. The seller would bring anywhere from 20 to 30%, and the bank would bring the other, anywhere from 70 to 80%, meaning you could come to the deal with no money out of pocket. Now, a lot of times the bank will want you to bring maybe 5 or 10%, but you can get away with bringing nothing to the table. In this scenario, you'd own 100% of the equity. So that's just a couple of examples of seller financing. There's literally a million different ways you can do seller financing, and that's the beauty of it. It's all negotiable, and it's kind of whatever you can come up with in your head and you can get someone to agree to. That's what you can do. I have a whole video about seller financing that you can watch if this sounds interesting, and I'll link it right here. So let me give you an example of how we use strategy number 3 to actually buy a deal. We found a deal that was $450,000. We got a private money note for 25% of the deal, and we got seller financing for the other 75% of the deal. The seller had first position and the hard money note had second position. That means we came to the table with literally no money out of pocket. We actually, in fact, got like a $900 check at the closing table. So then we stabilized the property, got the tenant to sign a lease. We took it to a traditional bank and refinanced out the seller on their seller financing note and the hard money lender. When we did the refinance, we actually got like a $2,000 check. So we got paid around $3,000 to buy this deal using creative financing. Now we own that deal 100% between me and my business partner, and we didn't have to bring any money to the table at all. Cash flows us around $2,000 a month, and we created around $200,000 of equity. If you find a deal like this in commercial real estate, it can literally be life-changing. So I want to be extra clear with you guys. I don't recommend anybody just go out there and do their first deal completely completely by themselves. I think that if you're going out and doing your first deal, you absolutely need to do it with somebody who actually knows what they're doing. For your first handful of deals, try to partner with somebody who's experienced. Whether it's a mentor or another local investor or whoever it may be, you need to partner with someone who has experience in the field. I do not recommend you go out and buy your first deal by yourself. No matter what the situation is, if you're using any of those strategies, I still wouldn't do it by yourself. And if you do, then make sure you're running it past 3 or 4 different people to check it for any kind of red flags or major risks. It's far better to partner with somebody who actually knows what they're doing and just get a little bit of equity in the first few deals than get 100% of the equity but then go make a major mistake. Just like one good deal can change your life, it's the same thing where one bad deal can also change your life. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions on any of these strategies I mentioned, comment them below. I'd be happy to answer them, or you can message me on Instagram or LinkedIn. And if this stuff went over your head, like I said, I'll have a guide in the comments below where you can read about all these different scenarios. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one.